Okay, so imagine you just got your new Lexus and you go to start it and there's a warning light that you don't recognize. And it's not just the classic winking eye robot that you're looking at. In fact, these new Lexuses have many warning lights that until making this video, even I didn't know what some of them meant. So in this video, let's review every warning light that your new Lexus, whether it's an RX, NX, maybe even a GX, might pop up and what they mean. And I'll even try to give some color as to what to do in those situations. And I'll try to make it, I know some videos or some icons are different in the USA versus Canada, and probably in the country you're in might even be different as well. So I'll try to make it a little bit universal, but we'll see what happens. Make sure you stick to the end because there's a lot of these to go over, so let's get started. Okay, so sitting in a brand new RX 350h, this one does have the macadamia nut interior with a little bit of wood grain around it. And I'm just gonna look at my phone to go through all of them because I wanna make sure that I don't miss any for you viewers. Okay, so the first one is, let's talk about the brake system warning light. Now, depending on your country, that could either spell out the word brake or it could just have, and this symbol is kind of funny because until you realize what it is, you might be like, what is it trying to say? It's a circle with two half circles on the outside. And in the middle is an exclamation point. So that's how it is in Canada. When you realize that that's actually just supposed to look like an old braking system, that's why Canada has it that way. So that could indicate that your brake fluid might be low or the brake system is malfunctioning. Usually it's the second thing. And the recommendation is just book it in with your dealer. So pretty easy. The second one is you could have that same brake symbol with the exclamation point in the circle, but be yellow. And that could actually be a malfunction for your regenerative braking if it's a hybrid, but also the electronic controlled brakes or the parking brake. So if you know, on most Lexuses, there's like a little switch for your parking brake. And actually, if you want to know what that symbol looks like that I'm trying to describe, it's right on the parking brake. It's the circle with the two half circles. So what that is it could be something to do with the electronic side of it. And obviously go to your Lexus dealer immediately as well. And that first one is also immediate, and it is important to note it could be dangerous to drive the vehicle. So those ones are really serious. Next one is a high coolant temperature light. So it looks like a temperature symbol. So it's kind of got like a line going into some water and has like a couple dashes on it. Kind of looks like an F with an extra line, I guess you could say, maybe for Fahrenheit. So it indicates that the engine coolant temperature could be too high. Again, immediately stop the vehicle in a safe place and probably go to your dealer. That could be like anything from like something with the pressure in that system or just overheated. Okay, the next one is something that I have experienced. I haven't experienced many of these lights, but this is one I have. A warning light that indicates the hybrid system has overheated. Long story, but I did overheat one time stuck in a snowbank. Long story. So what it looks like is it's almost like a canister on its side with heat coming up, and that's supposed to be the electric motor. Stop the vehicle in a safe place and contact your dealer. That one you might be able to let cool down and try to drive again, but there's probably a reason it did it. Okay, the next one is my favorite, the winking eye robot, which it kind of looks like to me, but it's actually supposed to look like a battery. So what that means is there's a malfunction in the charging system. That can be the battery, the alternator, the generator, depending on what it is. Immediately stop the vehicle in a safe place. The reason is it's not getting, the system isn't getting the charge it needs. So a lot of these cars, a lot of the things in these cars are electronic, so we don't want anything to go wonky on us. The next one is the oil pressure. So this one looks like the classic oil can. It actually kind of looks like a genie lamp, I guess you could say, with a drip coming out of it. So that means that the oil pressure is too low. Just speeding things up here because there's a lot. Okay, check engine light, or MIL is what I was taught in school, malfunction indicator lamp. So the first one in the USA is gonna be a picture of an engine. So it looks like an engine block with a few things on the sides, and it says check under the bottom, usually in the States. In Canada, it's just the big engine. So this could actually mean a lot of things. It could mean there's a malfunction in the hybrid system. It could mean the electronic engine control system. It could mean the throttle control system, or it could even mean the transmission system. So the check engine light isn't just about the engine anymore. It's not just the gas cap is loose like in older cars. And it's funny because I remember in school that when I was going to school to be a mechanic, which I'm definitely not, my teacher told me that like, hey, when you start the car, before you start it, switch it to the on position to make sure that the bulb for the check engine light isn't out, because that's a tricky thing that people do. And meanwhile, nowadays, it's so much more complicated than just that. But yes, that could be a number of different things. I've seen it where that could just be triggered by, something that like maybe was just off a little bit. It could be, something electronic, and then as you drive, it turns back off. And a lot of times that stores a code for us to be able to check with the scan tool, but still not great to drive around. I mean, you might be able to get to a safe place and get it to the dealer, but still. Okay, next one is the beach ball on the person sitting on the chair. What that is actually the airbag and the seatbelt system. So it's the SRS system. It could be the pre-tensioner on the seatbelt. It could be the airbag. So again, very dangerous if that's not working properly, and if you get in an accident. Next one, we're gonna talk about the ABS warning light. So in the States, it says ABS, it's spelled out. In Canada, it's that same little circle with the half circles, but in the middle it says ABS. So it could be brake assist or it could be anti-lock brake system. Again, you could technically drive it like this, but if you were to slam on the brakes, those tires might lock up, which would be an out of control situation. So again, only if you have to type thing. Okay, the next one is kind of wild. Inappropriate pedal operation warning light. A buzzer would be paired with this. It could mean the brake override system is malfunctioning. It could mean the drive start control is malfunctioning. It could mean the drive start control is operating. It could be the parking brake support is operating. So when a buzzer does not sound though, a brake override system might be operating. So what you're supposed to do in this situation is release the accelerator pedal and depress the brake pedal. And you will see that spelled out for you on the screen on the gauge cluster. So for any new Lexus, a lot of times there'll be an instruction on that screen if there's something you need to be doing. Okay, let's go down to some steering wheel stuff. So this one is electronic power steering assist warning light. So could be a picture of a steering wheel with an exclamation point, red, or it could be yellow as well. And that just indicates a malfunction in the electronic power steering system. Have the vehicle inspected by your Lexus dealer immediately. You know what though? When it comes to power steering systems, when you think of how complicated the hydraulic system used to be, and how there was lines and high pressure hoses, low pressure hoses, all this stuff, now that there's just like an electric motor on that steering shaft, it is very reliable. It's pretty rare that you see issues with that. So probably you're never gonna see that one. Okay, here's an easy one. Low fuel warning light. It's gonna just be the picture of the gas station. So when that light comes on, it means there is 2.6 gallons of fuel left or 10 liters. So when you do the math, I know a hybrid like this, I don't know, even if we err on the side of caution, we can say on average is doing 10 liters per 100 kilometers. That's wild. I wouldn't go 100 kilometers when that light comes on. I usually give myself 20K. And I'm like notorious in the dealership that my demonstrator vehicle is always on empty. It's like, if I see that gas light come on, I'm gonna go home and back at least one time. So don't push it to that extent, but it does mean that there's that much gas left. And I know people have asked me that before, so that's an important one. Okay, let's talk about the seatbelt reminder lights. That could be a warning buzzer. It means the driver or passenger has to fasten their seatbelts. That sort of kicks on as soon as you start driving. And then you'll see one that says rear with 3 people, and it means someone in the back needs a seatbelt. And sometimes you can even see on one of the screens if there is people in the back. Let's talk about the tire with like the bulge in the sides and then the exclamation point. That one means tire pressure warning light. So TPMS could be low inflation, right? From natural causes. It could be from a flat tire, and then it could be blinking for a minute, which might just be, if it's blinking, it might just be a malfunction, it says. So classic Dustin, I was filming a TX video a year ago, and that light came on, and I was like, oh, it's just the cold, because always like the first cold snap we have, a lot of people come in with their light on, and that's just because maybe their tire pressure's dropped to like 29 or something like that. And then they start driving and it warms up and it's fine. But that was actually, I had a flat tire in the TX and I assumed that it was just the cold, but then I started to feel it in the steering wheel a little bit. So just because that pops on, it could be normal, or it could be that you actually have a flat tire. And it was surprising because I didn't hit anything that day. So pay attention to how the vehicle's performing. And when you can, pull over, take a look at those tires, see if one is low. And don't forget, most of our cars, you can actually go through the screens either on the big screen or the dash, depending what car it is, and look at the actual values. And if you see one that is at like 13 and the rest is at 30, there's an issue with that tire for sure. So just keep that in mind. Okay, there's another one that is a P and then a cone and then off underneath. And that means intuitive parking assist is off. So it means there's a malfunction in the parking brake assist function, or that it's temporarily unavailable because of being dirty with ice or dirt. Happens all the time. I see this like right now, every day. Well, not every day. Once a week in my car, just because of the snow gets on those sensors. It errs on the side of caution and just turns it off, okay? Another one is the PCS warning lights. That's the pre-collision system. One of the most underrated systems because we don't talk about it enough, but it's amazing how it works. And that looks like a little car accident with the word off. It means there's a malfunction. So again, there could be some stuff on your sensors, or more common than that is if you had a dead battery recently and you boosted it, that first drive that you're in, it might just be off. It might just be recalibrating with the fact that it's a car again. LTA and LDA, I'm gonna double up on these. LTA is lane trace assist and LDA is lane departure assist. So the LTA is gonna have car in the center of two lanes and the LDA is like a car crossing that lane. All that means is that there's a malfunction in whichever one it is. The LTA is the one that keeps you center. The LDA is what makes sure you doesn't cross over that system. So depending on which, usually I have both of them on. Again, that could be any of the sensors on the front or the top of the windshield. So could be something there. PDA indicator looks like a car with a few like perimeters around it, and that's the proactive driving assist. Again, probably just dirty or full snow. It's rare that those systems fail so far anyway. Cruise control, we have the two different cruise controls. We have the one with the car, which is the dynamic radar cruise, or we have the one with just the cruise control. It's like just the gauge. Depends on what could be possibly doing that. Now there's still some more, so I'm gonna keep going. We also have a drive assist information indicator. So this is let's loop a ton of features into this. So this is a car with a circle around it. This could be your pre-collision system is off, or your LDA, or your parking brake assist, or your rear camera detection, or your blind spot monitor, or your rear cross traffic alert, or your safe assist exit. Safe assist is like when you go to leave the car, if there's a car coming, it'll actually override you and stop and say warning. So on something like this, it'll tell you instructions on the screen. And again, it won't usually happen too much unless there's like something, dead battery or something like that. Slip indicator, ooh, that's a fun one I haven't seen in a while. Looks like a car doing some skids, means that the vehicle stability, the track system, the trailer sway control, trail mode function, or hill start assist. So again, these are all traction stability control type systems. Could be, depending on the condition of the car is in, maybe a wheel spin sensor is off, or a flat tire could also trigger this. Anyway, let's talk about parking brake indicator. So it's either gonna say park if you're in the USA, or our beauty little P with the parking symbol in Canada, that's gonna be flashing. So that means operate the switch once again is the first step, because maybe you're driving and it's on, for instance. Or if that's not the case, if it is definitely off, then bring it to a Lexus dealership. And then last but not least, and it's not like a super glamorous one, is it could say hold. It might just say hold somewhere, HOLD. And if it's flashing, it means there's a malfunction in the brake hold system, which if you don't know what brake hold is, it's just this little button right here that says hold. And if you're like in McDonald's drive-thru getting some chicken nuggets, you can give your brake leg a little bit of a break, press that button, let go of the brake, order them nuggets, and then when you want to go again, you just tap that gas pedal and it'll release the brakes. So that is a tutorial on what all of the malfunction symbols mean. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, so let me know in the comments what your country has, and we'll kind of go from there. So there you have it. All or most of the malfunction indicator lights that you might come across in your Lexus ownership experience. Let me know in the comments below if the indicators I talked about are available in your Lexus in your country, or if there's any you want me to elaborate on. I don't know all the answers, but sometimes I can find out the answers. So if you see one on your car that you're curious about, let me know and I will be sure to reply back on Instagram or in the comment section. That one gets a little busy, but definitely if you message me on Instagram or email me, I always try to get back. So I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.